Hi everyone! Right now we're going to look at a database called Communication and Mass Media Complete. If you had your English 102 instruction at the library, you probably used something called OneSearch. Communication and Mass Media Complete looks a lot like OneSearch, and it's used the same way, so you might already be familiar with the interface. However, the information that you find is going to be different. OneSearch is the box that you see right here on the library homepage. I want you to ignore that, even though it's tempting to start your search here. Instead, we're going to use resources that are better for your discipline of communication. To find Communication and Mass Media Complete, we're going to click on the link that says Databases and E-References. These are in alphabetical order, so we're going to click C to find CMCC. When we get to the database, we'll see that we have multiple boxes. This is great because that means I can use a separate box for each of my main ideas. If you have more than 3 main ideas, you can add an extra box. Remember, make sure to identify your topic's keywords and related search terms before you begin your search, like I've done in this chart. If you're not sure how to do this, click the video linked below this one on YouTube. You can actually start your search just with your keywords, or you can try some of the related terms. The important thing to remember is to save one box for each of your main ideas. So I'm going to start with oil spill in one box and publicity in the other, and click search. We only got one result, but that's okay if it is something useful. If it isn't useful, or you need more information, then you need to revise your search. That's why you need a brainstorming chart to help you come up with additional ways of searching. So publicity is pretty specific. Why don't we replace it with a more general term, media? This time we get 35 results. That's pretty manageable. But if you're required to use only scholarly journals, you can narrow down your results by ticking this box here. We can also limit by date. So if you're interested in more recent articles, we might look at just the last 10 years, and it will get rid of anything that was published before 2010. We have 16 results, and many of them look useful for this topic. However, if you're still not getting results for your topic, you can continue to revise your search using your brainstorming chart. If you want, you can keep replacing the terms until you find what you need, or you can use Boolean operators. There are 3 Boolean operators, and, or, and not. If you can't remember how to use Boolean operators, check out the video linked below this one on YouTube. I'm going to use OR to connect 2 related ideas, media or news, basically running 2 searches at once. This is going to bring back any results that include oil spill and media, but also any results that include oil spill and news. This increases our number of results since we went from 16 to 21. Once you have found the right search terms, used Boolean operators, and limited to the type of source and publication date you need, you probably have a pretty good list of results. You can click on the title to read the abstract and see if it is something you can use. If you want to read the whole thing, you can click on PDF full text or HTML full text, and there it is, the entire article right there for you to read. If for some reason we don't have access to it, if you don't see the PDF or HTML full text options, you can request these articles through interlibrary loan. So those are the basics of Communication and Mass Media Complete. It's very similar to OneSearch, which hopefully you're pretty comfortable using. The important things to remember are to identify your search terms ahead of time, use Boolean operators, and use the limiters. Don't be afraid to try multiple searches until you find what you're looking for. If you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to hearing from you.